What was the craziest food you had on your mission?
Definitely, what is that food called? It was given to us by a El Salvadorian lady, and basically it's cow feet or cow stomach. Um, I loved it. I thought it tasted great. My companion died.
Awesome. What was a crazy or dangerous experience you had?
It's my first area. We knocked on the door and some Native Americans opened. You could smell the beer. And I, being new and in front of my trainer, said, when they let us come, I was like, yeah, sure. We went in. My trainers gave me a shake no. So we were in there and they stood by the door and drank their beers. They asked us questions about Joe Smith and other things. I'm surprised we got out of there. But yeah, so we were held hostage for 30 minutes, asked random questions by people who spoke, half the time they didn't speak English, they spoke some Sioux language, but they let us out eventually.
What was a spiritual experience you had or a time you felt the spirit strongly?
Um, Lots of experiences. One, my first area, again, we were teaching a Guatemalan lady who was referred to us by a member, and she hardly spoke at all, gave us one-word answers anytime we asked her a question. So between the second and third lesson, we went by, knocked on her door to see if she was still okay with us coming by, and I have never seen somebody with a bigger smile on her face. She just beamed when she saw us and just talked and talked and talked and talked. And my mouth was wide open. And after we finished talking with her and she closed the door, I just looked at my companion and we were in shock that like a woman she had gone under such a big transformation just a few days from not talking at all to just from the most sad and miserable person I've ever met to one of the happiest people I've ever met.
Any funny language mistakes that you can remember?
I mean, I never made any of those mistakes. Or at least I don't remember them. But my companions, oh sure, plenty of mistakes. There was one time, great guy, but he liked to joke with the little 3-year-old of one of the members. He'd call them uvas, which is grapes. They'd call him uva back, and they'd call him a grape. Then he started shaking it up, calling them other things like fresa, strawberry. Then he called them a piña, a pineapple, and the members just burst out laughing. He's like, "Oh, I made a mistake." Like, Mother Jensen, that means gay. I was dying. So I called the little girls gay.
What was one of the greatest life lessons you learned on your mission?
I learned that not only do people have infinite potential, but that people are capable of changing to obtain that infinite potential.
What's a new skill or ability you gained as a missionary or developed?
The ability to like people enough to want to talk to them. In the past, and even now, there's many times where just talking's a difficult thing to do, especially people you don't know or don't have an instant connection with. But everyone's got an interesting story, and when you keep that in mind, it's a lot easier to talk to people.
Most extreme weather you experienced on your mission?
I was really hoping that our tower would get run over by a tornado. And we did have a tornado in my last area, but it almost hit us. We actually happened to be in Lincoln, Nebraska, while there was tornadoes running through the outskirts, and some of the outlying towns got hit pretty hard, but we were good. We just had to clean up the mess afterwards.
What was one of the hardest things that you went through or experienced on your mission?
There's a lot of things, plenty of things that are stressful, difficult. 90% of what you do as a missionary is just hard. There's that 10% really spiritual part where you're just happy and everything's just going great and people are progressing. 90% of it is just hard. One of the hard things for me was just really enjoying being a missionary, which may sound kind of weird, but just enjoying the experience altogether. took me a while to realize that what I was doing was something I was really enjoying.
What's the best advice you could give to a pre-missionary getting ready to serve a mission?
Stay worthy. Set the goal of going on a mission. I mean, it's the decision that will shape your life. I mean, it's the decision you'll cherish most if you make it, and it's the decision you'll regret most if you don't make it. It's as simple as that.
What's the best advice you could give to a returned missionary who's just getting home?
Have some goals. Spend 2 years making goals and trying to achieve them. I mean, if you stop that now, then you'll also stop progressing. If you're not moving forward, you're falling back. So everything from scripture study goals to education goals, I mean, you need to have something that you want to accomplish and you need to keep working towards it.